Yo, what's the deal, my people? It's your boy Jason Guna. We're back in the building. It's another EPL week review show. It's match week 6, recently concluded today. Bournemouth got the win over Southampton, but we're going to go through all of the games of the weekend, starting from the first game right on to the one today. Of course, we had the preview show earlier Friday night, so we have the standings, outcome of the picks this week. So we'll see who was the champion for the league this week in terms of picking the games, and we also have the donkeys of the week or the donkey of the week. We have multiple this week. That's why I say donkeys. So yeah, we're going to also let people know who finished with the worst picks for the week as well. So we're gonna make this a tradition on the show. Pull up the standings, give the flowers to those who win, and also the people who never pick so great going to get them beaten as well. So yes, as we get started, people, make sure you do the YouTube things for me. Like the video, share the content, subscribe to the channel. I know it is late. It is 10:34 Eastern Standard Time in the United States, 9:30 in Jamaica. It's a Monday night. So I know some people might not catch this one live, and that's okay. Get your sleep, people. Get your sleep. When you wake up in the morning, you're doing your workout, you have some content to get you through. Yes, so we're going to go through, break down the games as we like to do, put the stats on the screen, talk about the incidents in the games. This week, I watched quite a few games live, and the ones that I didn't watch live, got a chance to see all the replays and highlights and whatnot. So have a good idea of what was going on in most of the games. And of course, as we do each week, certain games going to get a little bit more time. Probably we'll watch that one. Probably there was a little more controversy in that one. So we're going to touch on all those topics. And of course, while the show is going, you guys in the comment section, let me know if there's anything that we left out. One thing after that I have not done, let me get this done right away, people, because this is not good. Man didn't even set up my stream, none at all. So let me just sort this out. Make sure the people them can actually comment tonight, because that's important, isn't it? Yeah. And while I do this, people, just make sure you guys are smashing up the like button. That is very, very important that you guys take care of that for me. And of course, you can support the channel monetarily by dropping a comment in the form of a super chat. Yes, people, that is always available to you. So yeah, we'll give thanks for anything like that. But at the very least, people, what you have to do for me is like the video. All right. So of course, on this channel we talk about football. Pretty much that's what we talk about. And normally, well, not normally, sometimes it might be reggae boys, reggae girls, youth teams in Jamaica. We might talk about Champions League. We might be doing some CONCACAF matches, Caribbean Cup. But tonight, this program in particular is about the English Premier League. So it's going to be driven by that, and we're going to talk about that scene. So let me big up the people in the comment section from early. Float Management, big up yourself. Wagwan, my brother. Duke, Wagwan, yeah man, bless up to Duke, bless up to the man, them. Blues and Gunners won over the weekend, always a good look. Yes, Float. All who side get 3 points, my mayor no said 3. Yeah man, I can say 3 loud and proud this week. Cold Palmer, yeah man. You see him in the thumbnail, people. We're gonna discuss Cole Palmer. There was a little, I wouldn't even say a debate, but I heard it floating around, world-class Cole. Some people saying, boy, is it too soon? What's your guys' take on it? We're going to discuss that a little bit in this one for sure. All right, so let's see. So we're not going to tarry, people. It's late. We're going to get the show rolling. All right, so the first game of the weekend, we had the table toppers as of last week, Manchester City. They traveled to St. James Park to play against Newcastle. And this is a fixture that typically the last couple of years has been very exciting. I remember one in particular, I think it was a 3-3 draw. Yeah, that was a very good game. So I expected something similar in this one. I went for the 2-2 draw as my prediction for the game. And the game was a draw. I just missed out on the score, though, as you can see on the screen. Let me get this proper here. Yeah, as you can see on the screen, 1-1 was the finishing score. Vardial scoring that beautiful goal in the first half, cutting inside, scoring with his right foot, and then Anthony Gordon earned himself a penalty, skipping past Ederson, and I think quite cleverly earned himself that penalty, and then he himself slotted it home to make it 1-1. Of course, to end out that game, I thought there were some half chances that City could have maybe got the win, but in the end, I don't think they really created enough, especially not to the level of Manchester City's normal goal scoring, creating opportunities. And in this game, I thought the midfield battle was crucial. And I think, without having Rodri in the midfield, there was a difference. I think, Joe Linton, Tonali, Guimaraes, a very, very athletic, energetic midfield. I think those are the type of midfields that will give Manchester City trouble moving forward. I think Rodri kind of makes up for maybe the lack of mobility in some of the players in that area of the park for Man City. And, his absence, I think, was felt in this one. I think it was probably one of the worst teams and places you could play in your first game without Rodri in the midfield. Just the energy levels that Newcastle bring to the game, especially at home, is something special, honestly. So Adija Cole Palmer was the man of the week. That is a fact. Can't take nothing from him. I mean, 4 goals in a half is ridiculous. I go on my namesake, big up, Yeah, man. Bless up, bless up, bless up. Respect for turning up, bro. Like and share, my brother. Like and share. All right, so this was the statistics for the game, right? So let's just look at the raw data. So we have 62% to Man City, 38% to Newcastle. I think that's something that pretty much to be expected. I think Newcastle in a game like this know that their strength would lie in transition. So they would want Man City to get on the ball, get comfortable on the ball. Then when they can turn them over, really transition quickly. Stat that some people don't love, but I actually think it's a pretty good marker for how the game actually went is the expected goals, and Newcastle edged it out on the day 1.57 to 0.91. Another thing that I think is interesting in this game here, if you look at the big chances created, so Newcastle created 2 and Man City 1. I think it's very rare that you see a game Man City plays and they don't create more than 1 big chance. So I think on the day, that final pass was a bit lacking for City. Newcastle was very organized. You have to give them credit, but for whatever reason, I thought City was a little bit flat in this game. City still took more shots, 16-11. Pope made 2 more saves than Ederson, 5-3. Fouls, corner kicks were pretty even on the day. Man City attempted about 200 more passes. Both teams had 4 yellow cards on the day. Now let's look at the shots on target. So City edged that 6-4. Shots inside the box a little more for City as well, 12-10. Shots outside the box more for City, 4-1. So the big chances scored 1 apiece. So City converted their 1 big chance. Newcastle was 1 of 2 for theirs. Touches in the penalty area, City edged them out 40-25. Let's take a look at the entries. So 53-45. So very, very close in entries on the day. So another testament to how close this game really was. Of course, City had the big passing edge, 230 more basically. Final third phase, City had a better passing accuracy in the final third. Long passes, Newcastle, as you would expect, went long a few more times than City. Crosses, Newcastle a lot more effective, 5 of 16 to City's 2 for 19. So yeah, the statistics in this one don't really tell a lie. I think this game could have gone either way. If I was going to give one team the edge, I don't even know if I would give a team the edge per se. I think both teams could have deserved 3 points in it. But I think a point in the end was a fair result, if you're just being honest. As I said, Manchester City just didn't quite put it all together in the final third in terms of getting that final action. Definitely not the slick City that we used to seeing in that final third area. But you have to give credit, as I said, to Newcastle. I think they defended well. They were tight as a unit. If you look at their, players overall, I thought the midfield engine room did well. They all put themselves about. As you can see, all three of them got a yellow card. So, took no prisoners there in the midfield. One thing I will say about Pep, I was very surprised that Savinho and Doku, the more, maybe probing wingers, 1v1 master wingers that they have, didn't come on the pitch earlier in the game. They got, the 81st minute they both came in, which I thought was a bit surprising. Foden, working his way back to full form, full fitness. Thought his cameo was decent. I think more than likely, we'll start to see Phil Foden in the next game from the start. But we'll wait and see if that is truly the case. They do have a Champions League game this week, so we'll see if he plays in that one from the start. But again, there's a couple of surprising things for me was just how long he held on to Savinho and Doku. Thought, they would have come on a bit earlier. Grealish, as you can see, was the player of the match statistics-wise, so maybe that's a part of the reason why he held off a bit to make that double sub. But even still, I've yet to see him try Grealish in another role. Could he play behind the striker and you still have your wingers playing? I wonder. That's something that I've seen him do for England. He did that kind of in the last set of games and it didn't look too bad. So I wonder if that's something Pep might try out, or if he's stuck to Grealish just being a left-sided winger player. Let's see. Not sure, but for me, this game 1-1 in the end. Newcastle getting the point. All the other title hopefuls very happy for Newcastle to hold on to this draw. It was set up for City to find that late winner, but in the end, as I said, kudos to Newcastle for keeping it tight at the back. And why? Declan got kill me for that one there. Yeah, but kudos to Newcastle for doing the proper things defensively and holding out for this point. Moving forward, we just have to see the long-term effects of the Rodri loss. As I said, I think in this one, they weren't quite as dominant in those midfield areas as they normally are. And, the one thing that has changed is Rodri is not there. So, I would like to think that plays a big role in it. So, let's see moving forward if Man City can, continue to keep this thing going without Rodri long-term. I've always thought that he's the key. If you look at, I think the stat is when Rodri doesn't play, they lose 1 in 3 or something like that, which is a lot for City standards. So let's see if that pans out this season. I mean, we have a long stretch now where we won't see Rodri. So we'll get to see if that sample size is only that way because it's so small or what. So I am interested and intrigued to see how that looks moving forward. As for Newcastle, I think this is the type of result and performance that could potentially get them back on the right track. They are doing decent so far this season, but I think they have been a bit inconsistent in their performance. Of course, they would love to get Isak back rolling every week. They haven't had Callum Wilson there to foil, so they really, really need Isak back. But Anthony Gordon did prove if Isak is out for a few more games, he can still be effective through the middle. I thought he was a good relative threat on the day. But let's see if he can keep it up through the middle. I do think he's much better in the wide channels. But as I said, he did do a job, earned a penalty, was a nuisance up there. So let's see if he can keep it going if Isak cannot return soon. All right, so that was the first game of the weekend, 1-1. As I said, the title, the other people with aspirations at the title, the other teams were very, very happy that this could have happened. So yeah, that's what happened there. The 1-1 points dropped by City for the second week in a row. Hot Chili said, horrible weekend overall. Boy, Hot Chili, you are right about that. In reality, and in the pick standings, yeah, it wasn't so good for you. Bless up yourself, same way though, Hot Chili. Big up yourself, 1-1. Yeah, man, we're there. Yeah, man, one big up the people. Man City have not been good so far, but they often pick up their performances later in the season. That is very true. 1-1, very, very true. This is usually their lean time. That's why I think a lot of people were very panicked in the beginning, because even though they weren't quite playing their best, every game was pretty much, a decent enough time for them. I think the Brentford game is the one game where maybe there was a bit of a wobble, but all the other games, I would say they were pretty much been in control. So yeah, I mean, the fact that they started out 4 wins from 4, and we all know that they're normally not the fastest starters, it was a bit troubling, But the last couple of weeks, I think I've given all the other teams some hope. Arsenal getting the draw and looking, like they were gonna get the 3 points up to right until the end, and then, the bad news of City hearing that Rodri is down for the season. And then you couple that with now the St. James's Park game, where I thought City weren't quite the same as they have been to start the season. So, it's giving everybody hope. And I think, as Duclan says here, they will not win the league. I won't go so far just yet. De Bruyne is still gone. Rodri is gone. I mean, both of them gone out of the system. Plus, Foden not really up and running. There's a lot of things and variables that aren't really quite settled with City yet. So I'm not quite gonna jump out so far and say that. Look, I did predict Arsenal to win, so it's not like I don't see that. I don't think City can't. I don't think City have to win it, but I'm not gonna jump out and say they won't win it just yet. But I think it's gonna be tough for them. I think they're in for a big fight with the circumstances and the cards they have been dealt. So let's see how it play out, but it should be interesting. The next game on the docket, people. 10 o'clock kickoff. It was the Gooners. And this was a game where I'm sure rival fans would have had plenty of emotions throughout this game. If you look right here, I'm sure you can see this, guys, on the left-hand side. This is they call this the match momentum. And this basically shows, which team had the better of play during whatever spells of the game. So you'll see on the green side here, that's the Arsenal side of play. And you see we pretty much, I would say, have about 90%, 95% of all the game's momentum or attacks. And, there's a few little parts here where Leicester were in the ascendancy. And, of course, the closer to the middle it is, it's not as much pressure. So, Leicester did well in their couple spells to get a couple of goals. And Arsenal, of course, very, 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 very wasteful, as you will see in the statistics of the match in a minute here. But the player of the match for this one was the Leicester goalkeeper. And, they lost the game 4-2, as you can see. James Justin with a brace for Leicester. One fortuitous finish and one world-class finish. Can't take anything away from him. That was after Arsenal went into the halftime locker room 2-0 up, cruising really. Should have been more than 2, honestly. But in the end, it took an own goal from Ndidi in the 94th, and then a garbage time 99th minute goal from Havertz. Really a garbage goal too, the way it came about. But yeah, all goals count. And at the end of the season, when Havertz has his goal tally, not a soul will remember about this goal in the 99th minute being the way it was. It will just be another goal. So 4-2 to Arsenal. In the end, as I said, a lot of the rival fans that I know were reaching out to me, once we're approaching injury time. I was getting the Arsenal battle it again, and City drop points. And what do Arsenal do? They drop points as well. And yeah, it was quite pleasing when we got that goal from the corner kick. Set piece FC at it again. To just send those messages back out like, you guys spoke a little bit too soon, Yeah, it was great, especially after the week before. Jumping the gun with a few people before Stones found that equalizer. To have the same thing happen to me in reverse this time was great. So I was glad that happened. So thank you very much, Gunners, for giving me that that ammunition this weekend to just tell people them talk too soon, All right, the people I get, Wouldn't say we haven't been playing great, but we have been grinding out results. I think we'll improve too, but at least we're getting results by defending okay most of the time. Yeah, 1-1. I think honestly, the problem is, some of the goals we've been conceding lately, like the errors have been so egregious. Even both the City goals, I still feel like even though Savinho mashed up Calafiori, we were in a decent shape before everybody had take them and them start run out of position. Same with the goal at the end. We had two players going to Grealish to kind of cut off his angle when him cut in. Partey makes it a third for no reason, leaving Kovacic top of the box. So just little switch off moments. Same with the goal in the second half. Partey give away the ball needlessly when we kick off the ball. The ball played into the channel to Vardy, and it's almost complacency by Saliba to kind of not him could have make sure him don't tangle up with Vardy, but him never take enough care, and him foul him, and then them score from that. So even the second goal, even though I would give James Justin that chance 10 more times, and I don't think him finish it like that, maybe one more time. Calafiori was a bit naive in that he sees the player, but he kind of just wants to cover more central area. When we had the cover in there, we had Saliba in there, we had Gabriel in there. There was really no need for him to make an extra player so narrow, and that cost us. So it's little small mistakes, but as you say, most of the time, it's just these moments where we're lapsing, and hopefully we can clean that up. We're in that period of the season now. Come April, we will hear how can we compete. Yeah. So you've seen this story before, actually. Bless up yourself, Gigs. So go on. I think City have been getting worse for a while. They're still better than everyone else, though. True. Duclan said, time comes, City will fall. Omar said, Duclan, you're a hater. Saying it alone will not do it. All right. Leicester started negatively, but when they were more positive, they did well. Should have started like that. Well, look, I don't think Leicester didn't want to start positively, I think Leicester we just blitzed them. Them couldn't really do anything. They couldn't play out. They couldn't do anything. If them got long, we'll win the duel, we'll take the ball, we'll keep the ball. Their press wasn't affecting us. I mean, we were just playing, that first half was an incredible first half by Arsenal. I tell you the truth. We create chance. I mean, compose on the ball. Everything about that first half was, trust me, really good football. Really, really good football. And honestly, let's just take a look at the stats before I go back to the comments. So 75% possession to 25. So dominated the ball. Look at the expected goals, people. 4.6 to 0.32. So Leicester scored 2 goals, but they really made the most out of what they got. Only 0.32. They had no big chances on the day. We created 9 of them. 9. 35 shots to 5. Their goalkeeper made 13 saves. Raya made 1. We had 17 corners to their none. I mean, we had 400 odd more passes attempted. They had 4 yellow cards to our 2. Shots on target 16 to 3. We hit the woodwork 1 time. Let's see. Shots inside the box, we had 27. Wow. 8 outside to their none. 5 in the box for them. Big chances scored 3 out of the 9. So we missed 6 big chances on the day, people. 6. This game should have been out of sight. And to be honest, they didn't start well in the second half. Literally, we gave them the start. They didn't have the ball. We gave the ball away. They play 1 through pass. We foul them score on the free kick. And that's what made them start to believe. I don't even think, I think if that sequence doesn't happen and they don't score, I feel like it's just the same thing as the first half. But belief is a hell of a thing in football. Believe me. They were like, look, somehow it's 2-1. Let's play. And I think Arsenal did wobble a bit in that little stretch, maybe 10 minutes after the goal that they scored, the first one. Now, what I will say is when they scored the second, Arsenal woke back up. It wasn't really a time when I was worried per se that they were going to get a third. Most of their pressure came at 2-1. So that was good to see that they didn't, completely capitulate on the day, and they kind of got things right. Look at that, 77 touches to only 11. Crazy. Let's see the entries, 62 to 18. So they only really had 18 entries. That's nothing. 400 and odd more passes completed. Look at all those passes in the final third as well. So they're only 35 in the entire game. So I mean, this is just about as dominant statistically a game as you can have. But that just goes to show you, if you don't finish your chances in the Premier League, you don't care what the opponent is. It could be Leicester, Southampton, Ipswich, any team, Everton. If you don't convert your chances and you give teams hope, then, stranger things can happen. So, yeah, I think this game, obviously a bit more dramatic than I would like as an Arsenal fan. But I think this is the type of win that, it can galvanize the team. Just going through the last few situations that we've gone through. If you look back last week, the emotional roller coaster, the 2-2 with City, then, a bit of a feel-good factor with the 5-1 winning the cup, with the youngsters playing, Waneri getting a brace. Then we go into the Leicester game, heavy favorites, start out great, score 2 goals in the first half, and then end up in a dogfight in injury time, about to drop 2 points to Leicester. And you can just see the newspapers already, have Arsenal let the season slip away already. Deja vu with last season when we drew with Fulham early in the season. People were saying the same thing later in the season, saying, we lost by 2. Could it have been if we could have just not drew with Fulham and beaten one of, I think it was West Ham, and I forget the other game we lost back-to-back in that December period. I could just see everybody already bringing up those narratives. So the fact that we pulled it out for real was great. But again, the big talking points from this game: Arsenal find a way late, set piece FC, get a goal. The keeper for Leicester deserve a statue. James Justin, brilliant volley. Have to give you credit for that one, James Justin. Martinelli getting a lot of flack lately. Goal and assist, good performance. I thought Declan had one of his better games in this one, looking more like the Declan Rice of last season. No, Saka didn't score or assist on the day, but very, very effective. Couldn't really handle him on that side. 9.4 with no goal or assist is difficult to do in stats, in the stats world. This man had 8 key passes on the day. Ridiculous. 4 big chances created by himself. So, yeah, did everything he could to get on the goal or assist column, but his teammates just wouldn't convert the chances for him. Havertz, guilty on a few occasions, missed 2 big chances. I think Trossard also was guilty of a few of them. Yeah, missed one, hit the woodwork with one that he almost finished off. But for the most part, everybody had a good day. I think Raya wasn't really challenged much. Couldn't stop the second goal. The first one was also deflected, so a bit harsh on him. Couldn't really stop either of those, I thought. But yeah, I think Leicester, they fought, they tried, but in the end, I think they deserved when I got the 3 points. I thought, it would have been a travesty if Arsenal couldn't get these 3 points based on how they were playing. I think they played really well. Another storyline from this one, Waneri forward on very late, 85th minute. Some were a bit upset that it was this late, especially due to us needing something to happen in the game. But boy, can I tell you, this guy made this little cameo, the most of this cameo. As the first time him touched the ball, dribbled through, got it on the wing, cut inside, took a shot from way out, was parried away for a corner. And it just kind of raised the crowd level even more. So, great cameo from Waneri. I wouldn't be crazily shocked if he starts the game tomorrow against PSG, honestly. He may have done enough to get that call up. Maybe he holds him out for PSG to start him against Southampton next week, but we shall see. But Waneri is ready, Arteta. Boss him. Boss the youth now. Boss a youth mentality for him. Believe me. He's ready. He's the closest thing to Odegaard in our team, and Odegaard is injured. So give the boss a play. Give him a run out, people. I'm telling you, Ethan Nwaneri is a boss. He's the next. He's next. I'm telling you. Youth have talent. Do you think the Arsenal defender holding up to the fact that some people think that they are the best in the league based on the last few games? Honestly, if you're going to base it on the last 2 games, as I said, the first goal, Saliba should have done better on the Vardy run and fouling him. Should have done better there. I don't think the second goal is really on either him or Saliba. Now, the City game now, the 2 goals, the first one, Haaland, it was just 1 goal. Yeah, I think based on the last few games, I don't think either of them have done anything to say they're not. You know what I'm saying? And just tell me, what's the other pair in the league that would compare to them? Like, I guess the biggest Spurs fan would probably tell you Van de Ven and Romero. I don't think United can say that right now. Konate and Van Dijk, I guess based on the form of the defenses right now, you have to include them in it because they haven't been conceding many goals. So I think that's the only other one you could really argue for right now. Both City goals were rubbish defending. Gabriel's at fault for the first and Saliba for the second. Wait, both City goals? But a 1 goal City did score. No, a 2 goal City score, you're right. Yeah, because John Stones equalized for 2-2. The second one was Saliba fault, really? Well, it's a ball watching because Gabriel blocked the first one, and yeah, fair enough. Arsenal need to play corner all game to create a chance. No, sir. Fouling and 9 big chance to create in the last game, and it's not. I think maybe 2 of them was corner. My car not running. I wonder if I can catch the Arsenal bus. It's running. Yo, Rob, the bus, our fan bus coming like Chelsea player bus them. Full up, People them are fine gunners, them new side, Them now want City win again. That was, and funny enough, fouling. That was the most promising thing to me this game. The amount of open play chance we create. The most for the season so far. I think when Arsenal backline gets pressure from teams, it should be the fault. I think just like other teams. Okay. I think in the second half, they had no choice. So I had to commit more bodies forward. They were dangerous. They didn't commit them bodies forward in the first half. Yeah, but 1-1, that was such a small window. Like, literally, it was like from they scored until, like, Justin scored. It's about 15 minutes out of the 45 plus the injury, Or midfield struggles to play forward when teams push up and get closer to them. Yeah, I think that's why Nwaneri should play, because he's another progressor. Like, the part of the reason why we do it a little better when Odegaard plays, Yeah, we have match tomorrow against PSG. Moments decide games. Something gives a team belief. Everything. Yeah, man. Belief is a hell of a thing, man. The only one I remember is AU getting away and doing foolishness with it. That one I was like, whoa, what was that? But maybe I'm forgetting some others. No matter what Arsenal does, they won't win the league. Your coach don't think you're good enough to compete with City. Only small clubs park bus, and anytime City park 2 bus. That's not true, Rob Smith. When City played at the Emirates last year, we never parked the bus. I agree that on the road he shows way too much reference. But to be totally honest, this last game, I'd love to have seen the second half with 11, because the way we finished the first half of the last game, it wasn't a park bus settings, and we were kind of getting the better of them for a good 15-minute stretch. So look, I can't really totally go against his comment, because the last few times we have been there, it's been a bus parking segment. So yeah. But yeah, I don't know that he doesn't think we're good enough to compete with them this season. I really don't think so, to be honest. But yeah, I just think that Arteta is a bit more pragmatic than what the Arsenal aesthetic is over the years. And he did say when he came that he wanted to keep the best things about the club, but also add some different things. And I think the different things that he wanted to add is some of the stuff that we're seeing them doing in certain games now. Which, remember the song goes 1-0 to the Arsenal, 1-0 to the Arsenal, because before Wenger there was George Graham, who was Mourinho before Mourinho. So, that's a part of the Arsenal fabric as well, to those old enough to remember those times. Actually, I did with laugh. That's why I need to free Ethan, bro. He's average aside from his energy to get about the pitch. Not special. No, he's not special, but him kind of needed in Arsenal team with so many technical, maybe not the fastest people in the world around him. His legs needed, and that's why when him never have the certain legs in the first start of the season, he was looking very average, because that's his superpower, the legs. So if that's not there, he's just a regular midfielder. They need to take 3 points out of City if they want to win the league. Can't keep depending on the top slip. Yeah, last year we took 4 points and we didn't win. We lost by 2. So maybe if we had those 6, we would have win. But they won the goal difference battle anyway. I think that Arteta has proven against the bigger clubs in the league that we typically either split with them in terms of like win-loss, or we win and we draw. I think last year he had the best record against the big 6 out of all the other 6, even better than City. And it wasn't those; it was the games against the others that would drop points that really hurt us. Yeah, because Villa did the double over us, but all the other teams that finished in the top 6, we either got 6 points or 4 points from. So yeah, we handled the bigger teams last year for sure. Yeah, man, let them know 1-1. Like the video. All right, they might have a reasoning. Marking the man that scored. When you clear the ball, you push out, and he pushed out when it was not cleared properly. He stepped forward and left the man behind. He did a pinnock. They say him lose him head for a second. Defense is not as good as people think. Most teams are scared of us, so don't go at us. But when they do, we give away chances. See, I disagree. I don't even think we'll give away that many chances, to be honest. I think the main problem is like, I don't know. I wouldn't say we give away a lot of chances though. I think that if Arsenal didn't play semi-low block in previous games, they would have got a draw. No, we had to. Once we went down to 10, I don't know what the hell people expect. Like, honestly. Like, the only thing I would say, instead of playing what you must play in 5-4, I'd probably play 5-3-1 just to have someone at the next level. And Havertz is a good person at doing that. Just hold up the play, draw a foul. So I thought he overdid it, putting Havertz all the way back to midfield as well. Because then we really didn't have an outlet. So I think it was causing even more problems at times. But we're defending really well. So I guess he was like, yo, man, so I'll do it till the end. We had like 2 good attackers them times. And Graham had good players before that. We played attacking football, and I was still clean sheets. Even better than City is an accomplishment, because last season against big teams, City were horrible. That's true. I should really say like Villa or one of the other teams. But when you look at all the other 6 teams, like if there was just a big 6 table, Arsenal had the best record out of all of them. Look, I don't really care. That's just a fact. I'm not saying that I don't want a trophy for it. I'm just making a point. It's working, so I'm not complaining. Let's not pretend we are not bus parking and hoping to win from a counter or set piece. Absolutely. We did that against Tottenham, and we did that against City. my whole thing is I don't understand why it's like this big, how dare we do that thing? Like, brother, if it work and it's effective, do it. You understand? We have players who can play well in a counter-attacking game. Martinelli, Saka, Havertz as well, because Havertz movement is intelligent. So his movement will create space on the counter for the other players. So I am not one that is so, because here's the thing. It's not like we can't play the other ways. Like we see against Leicester the other day. It was so open, free flowing in the first half. They weren't doing anything. They weren't hurting us at all. We can play like that as well. We're not sustaining it right now because I don't think we're clicking all the way. But it's in there. We can do it. We've seen it last year for stretches. That whole stretch where I don't remember how much goal and whatever. When we did win 5-0, 4-0, 6-1, that whole stretch. Yeah, we're gonna have stretches like that again this season at some point. The squad getting healthy, or the guard look like it's not as long as it was. Mr. Marino I trained today. One area, I'm telling you people, one area I go bus like a kite soon. It's trust me, it's improving. We're gonna get better. City only won, Spurs and Villa in the top 6, I think. Damn, it was that bad actually. Not a lot, but we give chances away. A good defense around the pass did not give easy chances away. Well, so hold on. You guys take Grimmy head off a parking bus. Yeah, we take Grimmy head off a parking bus. Well, not me still. I don't really take him head off for that. As I say, there's a way to do it, and you can still kind of keep yourself in the game. Like in the second half, I wouldn't have gone to 4 in midfield with no forward. I would have played 3 in midfield and 1 forward. I would have had to have somebody occupying Akanji and all of them further up, their furthest back players. Because you never know, one ball over the top and, you never know. So just to put that doubt in them brain. But other than that, I would have sat just as deep. Simple. Same thing. Is this pragmatic way more dangerous? It might be actually. It might be. We try everything else to win the league. So now we try a different thing. Yeah. All right. So we could have talked about Arsenal till next year, but at the league review show. So I go forward in the rest of the game them. All right, people. But my club, thank you for pulling out that 3 points. I couldn't take the banter for the week if we never get them 3 points there. So the next game, people, Brentford West Ham. This was a 1-1 game. Of course, we have our international striker Mikel Antonio on this team. He got a 7.1 in this fixture. And actually, people, not to forget, I remember Bobby Reid did forward on the pitch late in injury time. My worries are coming through with Bobby Reid. They picked up a lot of people right towards the end of the window, attacking players, wide players. Bobby Reid seems to have dropped down the pecking order, and I'm worried. Mavididi did forward off late with an injury. So let's say coming into next week, maybe well-rested Bobby, maybe he gets some game time, more game time next week. I'm hopeful. Some minutes in his legs on the way in going into this international window. Of course, it's just one league fixture left. I don't think Leicester have any cup game this week. Let me double check and make sure. Yeah, so their EFL Cup match is postponed. No, that was last time. Okay, yeah. So their next match is next week against Bournemouth. All right, cool. So let's see. If Mavididi is out, maybe Bobby has a chance to start. If not start, definitely get more time off the bench. So we'll keep an eye on that one. But back to Brentford and West Ham, people. So we had 2 players actually in this one, of course. Ethan Pinnock going up against Mikel Antonio. So Ethan Pinnock on this one. This was a 1-1 draw, people. Brentford keeping up their streak of scoring in the first minute. This is crazy. I think this time it was like 30-odd seconds. Brian Mbeumo again with a volley. Good finish into the corner. And then Souček scoring, a typical Souček goal line scramble. I'm bigger than everybody else. I'm going to put the ball in the goal. So this one ended both teams getting a point, 1-1. As I said before, Pinnock versus Antonio. This one was billed as the Jamaican fans. Pinnock played 90 minutes, had 4 clearances, 1 interception, 2 tackles, 2 of 2 on his ground duels, 5 of 8 in the aerial duels, 88 touches. He lost the ball 9 times. He was fouled once. 70 of 77 for 91% passing, 3 of 7 on the long passes. That was Ethan Pinnock's day in the numbers. Was not dribble past on the day. Mikel Antonio with a decent showing, a 7.1. As you can see, his heat map, all action, touches all over the place, dropping deep, doing all kind of things. I remember people telling me him don't do these things at club level. I beg to differ, people. This man go all about the place and touch the ball. 75 minutes played, expected goals 0.28, so came relatively close to scoring a goal on this one. 2 shots off target, one of them blocked, 0 for 1 on his dribbles, 29 touches for him. He lost the ball 9 times. He had 1 key pass out of his 15. He was 15 for 18 for 83%. He did create 1 big chance as well. 2 of 2 on his long passes, 0 for 2 on the crosses. He was 0 for 2 ground duels, 3 of 8 on the aerials. He committed 2 fouls on the day for a 7.1. So still yet to get on the score sheet, but did register the assist as it was his shot that basically got Souček that goal. So first goal contribution of the season for Mikel Antonio, and hopefully he can continue that going into his next and last fixture next week. So West Ham really and truly yet to really kick off this season. This particular game, I think both teams, I don't know if either team really did enough to win the game. I don't think there was enough action in the goal mouth areas that would warrant one team to say, boy, we should have won. So yeah, I think a draw was a fair result on the day. I think West Ham, again, I just worry about their midfield. I don't think the balance is quite right. This time they went with Guido, Thomas, and Lucas Paqueta in the midfield. And yeah, I think, Brentford's style really, I don't think is one that would give this midfield so much trouble. Yeah, this game was played at a decent enough speed for West Ham not to get too stretched. And I think that's a part of the reason why the goal mouth action was a bit low in this one. But yeah, on the day, Brian Mbeumo proving to be a big fantasy asset for those who have him in fantasy. Just keeps on producing the goods for you. But West Ham, I did see that Todibo played this game, which is big. I think he can help them out. But I still feel like they're going to need something in midfield against certain teams. They're just going to be exposed in that middle area. But they didn't lose. They got a point. And they'll be hoping that they can, get 3 leaving and heading into that international window. But Brentford and West Ham finished 1-1. Let's see if anybody have anything to say about the Brentford game. So Arsenal buying the run next year, I don't know. As a person who specializes in hating pin-up ball watching again and cast the goal. Where you say a pin-up cast the goal? Jaja. Yeah, make me want to go watch the goal now for real, so I'm going to go watch the goal. All right, West Ham goal. Souček, Brentford. I'm going to watch it again, people. So Pinnock, I expect the man for offside. John, know that look horrible for real, you know. The man turning back when when Antonio go for strike the ball, you know. Cha. Rob Smith said Pinnock not having a great season, making some big mistakes. He was marking the man, then turned and just stared at the crosser. Left the man, he ran and scored. Pinnock does that all the time, like concentration awareness are his weaknesses. Yeah, that's one thing I can't say you keep the same energy from ever since about Pinnock, brother, man. I tell you the truth. Lack of awareness and concentration. Yeah, I always say that. How do you score in the first minute 3 games in a run? Don't win single one, don't it? Maybe them for score later. You know, try something different. Oh, Bobby can start getting more minutes, looking like a bad move at this point. Yo, Float, it was looking incredible until the window start to close and the man them goes up on a spending spree in a Bobby position. Like them bringing 3 people in a Bobby area right at the close of the window. I was like, damn. I don't even want to talk about our players. Nobody's lighting up the world right now. Chippy looks clunky, not as explosive. Yeah, I'm playing very within himself, Chippy. But it's effective though, because I'm now wasting energy. Yeah, he has always done this, but because it's a back four now, he has less players beside him to bail him out when he switches off. He could be a top defender, but keeps making the same mistakes. Yeah. Yeah, I saw Bowser started. I'm gonna do a Reggae Boys roundup show this week for sure. Cause the squad are forward the 4th Friday them say. So I'm gonna do one final, Reggae Boys check-in show. Just see how the player them play since the window closed to now. Since the window was over last time to present, just see who we can say, boy, this person has state them claim or this person on the fringes to not make it again, because we can kind of just go through that. We're gonna do that one day this week for sure. West Ham midfield and defense are a mess. They need a compact shape with the players. They have facts. Yeah, it was his fault for real. The man, because him turn him back, him lose Suchek. And then the brother who cover him for Suchek could have just allowed Suchek to go offside, but him follow him. Where said it was not allowed. No Pinnock slander allowed. Man, them just say, oh, me no business about them thing. They just stop it nice. So it goes sometime, when it's a favorite player, can't say nothing about them. All right, this game right here was a madness, people. In my preview show, I had said I'm very upset this game is coming out at the same time as the Arsenal game, because I think it's going to have everything in it to be an exciting game. And you got 6 goals in it, all in the first half. 4-2 to Chelsea. Well, 4-2 to Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer FC. Cole Palmer literally one of the best performances I remember seeing in the Premier League in a half. 4 goals from him. Last time I remember, I want to say Arshavin scored 4 goals, but I don't know if it was in the same half. I don't think it was. I could be wrong, but I don't think it was. But that's the last time I remember the 4 goals. I think it's been done after that still, But for some reason, the Arshavin one always stick out in my brain. Against Liverpool, but this was an incredible performance by Cole Palmer. First and foremost, though, Brighton started out the game pretty decent. They came with this mad high line. I think the coach showed his naivety in this game, because the first thing that jumped out to me when I saw the lineup, I said Adam Webster and Lewis Dunk is not the same as John Paul Van Heck and Lewis Dunk, right? And I think Van Heck was a late scratch, couldn't make the bench, couldn't play. And I just feel like it was kind of asking for trouble to go with the same system with Adam Webster and Lewis Dunk. I think Lewis Dunk gets bailed out a lot of times by Van Heck's speed, especially with the suicidal line that they play sometimes. He wouldn't have that safety net with Webster in there with him. And it proved to be true. I think countless times you saw Chelsea just put that ball over the top and they were in. And it was a clear tactic that Chelsea noticed. And I think even the fact that they saw the personnel and that even made their eyes open up even bigger, and they exploited it big time. Sancho, Palmer, Madueke, Caicedo, Enzo, they all were clipping that ball one time over the top, and the runners were in. Cole Palmer, perfect 10 on the day, 4 goals, that's to be expected. But let's take a look at the stats overall before we start break down the game a little more. So 59% to 41, that was the possession on the day. Yeah, crazy enough, Brighton still edged the possession on this day. But look at the expected goals, 4.16 to Chelsea, 1.11 to Brighton. They created 7 big chances, did Chelsea, to Brighton's 3. So regardless of Chelsea, looking great and everything, I still feel like their defense, you're saying that Arsenal give up too many chances. Chelsea, I think, gives up even more. So I think that's going to be their downfall in the long run this season. But believe me, their attack is potent. 15 shots apiece for both teams. So even there, Brighton had more passes attempted on the day. Shots on target, 7-5. Chelsea led that one. Shots inside the box, outside the box. Let's look at the entries on the day. Actually, the big chances scored. So only 2 for Chelsea. They missed 5. 2 scored for Brighton, and they missed 1 of them. Let's see. Entries. So Brighton had way more entries, 68 to 38. But of course, Chelsea's were quick and precise and more deadly. Brighton just had those, what I would like to call possession final third entries. Chelsea was doing more attacking final third entries. So sometimes it's final third entries that you have to really analyze it even further, because how were those entries taking place? Was it a passing sequence that got the entry, or was it a direct ball that got the entry? Because a lot of times the ones that are more direct might end up more often than not being a goal scoring opportunity. Sometimes, not every time, but sometimes. And I think in this case it was, because as you see, they had more big chances, more shots on target, and they had less entries. So that just goes to show their entries were just more effective. Yeah, so that's the overall stats on this game. Again, Cole Palmer, the star of the show. But if I'm a Chelsea fan and I'm being honest with myself, Robert Sanchez, well, he has to get looked at. I mean, he did have some good performances the last few games, but looks to be somebody that just has that mistake in him anytime around the corner. And I think the same can be said for a lot of their players on the back line. I think Gusto back in the lineup is going to help. It just gives them a little more balance on the back line, another technical player that suits the system of the coach. But Fofana, Colwill, 2 players that I think could still improve. I like Colwill a bit more than I like Fofana. I think Fofana, I've seen enough of him to know, he's just going to make mistakes. That's a part of his game. Very athletic, extremely quick for a central defender. But on the ball, I think he's prone to a mistake. Also gets the wrong side a lot against attackers. That's why he usually gets carded in matches. Colwill very aggressive. I think a bit higher IQ defensively, even though he's younger. But I think he also has a lot to learn at this level. So still prone to the mistake as well. And honestly, I think this is their best centre-back pairing. So I have so many problems with them, and they still, to me, are the actual starters. Tosin, good player, but I don't know if he's quite, league title winning starting level. Disasi, jury's still out, but I've seen enough to say maybe he's also not title winning starting level. So to me, that's their one thing that I just don't trust, that back line and their goalkeeper. I think Cucurella and Gusto, if they play well, they should be okay on those positions. I worry about the cover and the depth in those areas, especially with Reece James always on the injury table. But the goalkeeper, the centre-back pool, I think that's what's going to hold Chelsea back from really and truly causing some serious noise in this league. But again, if they can win every match 5-3, 4-3, 5-2, 6-3, if you can do that enough times, you can win the league. Same so. But is that realistic? I don't know. I don't think everybody will play suicidal high line like Brighton and have two centre backs so slow playing that suicidal high line. Verbruggen also had a poor showing, giving away the ball for one of the goals, made a mistake on another one. So yeah, not the best showing for Brighton. I think, what it really showed was, if you're gonna play Brighton, just maybe adjust your game a bit more to be more direct, and you will have more joy, because Chelsea definitely gave the blueprint how to split apart Brighton's defense. So it's not rocket science, people. Just go, instead of making that transition in 10 passes, make it in 3 or 4, and you'll be in behind this high line and slow defense of Brighton. So that is the blueprint. Anybody playing Brighton, just watch that game. You might not have the Chelsea players to pull it off, but implement it somehow with the players you have. But Chelsea, honestly, dangerous team right now. I just feel like they might be just a few pieces short of really mounting a serious challenge for this EPL. But let's see. The more they keep winning and looking like this, the more people tune, and my own might have to change. Next game, Everton versus Crystal Palace. This game ended 2-1. Brace for Dwight McNeil. I saw one of my Jamaican YouTube content creators hurry up and make a video saying, boy, Dwight McNeil, what about Dwight McNeil for the Reggae Boys, He has really started out this Premier League on fire, though, if we're being honest. Scored 2 really good goals in this one. One a cracker. This one right here was a brilliant finish. The first one of the day. But yeah, this was a really good performance. And if you look at Dwight McNeil's season so far, really and truly, he's playing out of his skin right now. For a struggling Everton team, no less. 6 games played, 6 started, 1 team of the week. He has 3 goals and 2 assists, so 5-goal contribution in his first 6 for a struggling, I repeat, a struggling Everton team. But Everton did pull it off this week. The team that I've been telling everyone that will listen, this is the year when they finally go down. They shut me up this week, people. They got the 2-1 win, and I think people are starting to believe me as well, because no one in the picks picked Everton to even draw this match. So everybody got this one wrong. 2-1 to Everton. They beat Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace just yet to really find kick on from that end of their season last year, which is very surprising. I mean, I know Olise is gone. Big loss for them. But, I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it. Maybe it's the the lack of consistency with the back line. Lacroix came over. Chris Richards has been relegated to the bench. He was a mainstay last season towards the end. So yeah, Richards actually wasn't even in the squad this last game. I don't know why. They had Lerma on the back line this last game. Klein was being used at times before as well. Trevor Chalobah came over from Chelsea. I'm surprised he hasn't been integrated as yet. I think he would definitely work in this back 3 system. You put Lacroix one side, Gehi, and you have Chalobah one side. I think that stabilizes it. So hopefully he can hurry up and get acclimatized. I think he could help for sure. Push Lerma back into midfield. I think Kamara needs to play one of these higher up roles for me personally. Don't think he give you the work rate needed in this kind of deeper role. Very technical, but I don't know if he has the legs, to really, especially in that midfield area where you have 2 wing backs normally wide. Sometimes that 2 out right there in midfield can be outnumbered, especially when the game is stretched and you have Eze and Nketiah gone in attack. So I think Kamada, they'd be better served playing Lerma in this system up here. Or, I think Koyate is also out. Yeah, Doucouré, sorry, he's out. That's a miss for them in midfield. So, yeah, I think Glasner has some things to figure out. Still trying to make up for the loss of Olise. They are playing this system that really suited Eze and Olise. I wonder if he switches it up, maybe plays Eze in the hole, play Nketiah more as a striker, and just play 2 up front just to see if he can get better out of those 2. But yeah, some tweaks need to happen though, because he's trying to implement the same exact system that gave him the joy last year, but too many of the pieces I think have changed. So maybe he needs to, rethink what's the best way for this new team to play. Everton, on the other hand, tried and trusted. This is the system that Dyche play with. Him lose games, him win games, him draw games, him play the same way. That's one thing you're going to get out of Dyche. Him going to play this way. That's how they play. And this time they were able to get the 3 points. So Everton, finally off of the cellar, got these 3 points, shifting them up the table a bit. And of course, we'll show the league table in a minute. Another game that happened on Saturday at 10, we had Forest versus Fulham. I'm checking with the comment section real quick. I think Emery have been playing very wide to give Rodgers more space. Oh, okay, Bailey. That cost me. JD cost me for everybody. When I say it was just one person, but yeah, a voice there loud, so it feel like more than one. I really want to talk about Flemo being on farm for yeah. I mean, I said it, Rob Smith. People they must vex with me, but I said it. What window was it? Yeah, the window when we learned that a lot of the EPL players wouldn't be playing. I think it was the 2 World Cup qualifiers. I was like, yo, say Flemo should really get in this team though. Cole Palmer FC4, Robert Sanchez FC2 are true. Big up my sports world. Yeah, man, Dolphins fans them upset in the night. We say men's and women's Champions League tomorrow. That is true. Yeah, I think everybody can score on Chelsea, Yeah, I don't know. Levels though. Levels. Yeah, that's I feel the same way. Tosin is, he's a Fulham big good baller, I don't know. I think Chelsea is a squad player. If Chelsea want to be what they are aspiring to be, I would think. Yeah, man, McNeil have a wonderful left foot, man. Yeah, man, you get a bone, you get some bone, you get a tiebreaker bonus for getting the correct score. I soon put up the standings, mass, so you can see where you finish this week. Everton have a good chance of staying up, but they could quite easily go down. Yeah, look, I have Leicester staying up, surviving as the promoted team, and I have Everton and the other 2 promoted teams going down. That was my prediction before the season, but that's probably mid season. After the winter the winter matches, maybe we'll do a revisit and see if we want to do a revised, maybe. Okay, so they didn't really play like that. Okay, so they actually played a back 4 for the first time because they've been playing this system, Where is it? Because they've been playing this kind of 3-4-3 thing. I mean, based on Lerma heat map, look like him play over there. Kamara play midfield, yeah. Wharton play midfield on the other side. Munoz play right wing back. Same there all over the right side. Him play left wing back. Yeah, man. I don't think Lerma play CDM big man. Come watch piece. Well, I never watch the game still, but I see the highlights and I see where him there play. I know he's a CDM, but they put him at centre back in a back 3. Southampton coach have no common sense. Every other team is a chance to stay up, in my opinion. But unless Russell adjusts, it's over for Southampton. Yeah, the man give up, brother. The man say me I play. It remind me of Company last season, brother. Same thing. Yeah, the Saints. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I had Ipswich, Southampton, and Everton going down. Yeah, Ramsdale is a perfect example of like the Arsenal. Arsenal really does have strong PR because this man was exalted as like, I mean, he made saves for the cameras, don't get me wrong, but he made mistakes all the time, man. And I remember telling people when we got Raya and Raya made some mistakes in the beginning, they were like, see, he makes mistakes like Ramsey. I said, brother, these are mistakes of just the club. He's huge and him not really set in, him not calm down yet. And look upon Raya now compared to them time there. I mean, they tell people from the first day, like, Arteta do the right thing with this decision. I'm telling you. Yeah, I know him is a CDM, but all right. So let's go to the next game on the docket. Cause we have a big one when we reach it, say some of the Man U fan them probably gonna them bed because them don't want to talk about it when I reach this yet. So Fulham Forest, this was a 1-0. Raul Jimenez back again on the score sheet from the penalty spot. Forest in the end tried their best to get that equalizing goal, but they couldn't quite get there. Fulham with a good defensive display. I think all their defenders played well. Burnley had a good performance as well. The ex-Arsenal boys doing well. Smith Rowe, Iwobi. I think Reese had an appearance off the bench. Yes, he did. But yeah, in the end, Fulham getting another result. So a decent start now to the Premier League for them. Stats in the game show Fulham probably the slight edge, expected goals, so maybe they deserved winners. They had better possession, took a few more shots as well. Yeah, overall, just a slightly better. I think they had the slightly better of playing this one. Definitely, the loss of Morgan Gibbs White definitely told on the day. Much less creativity in their play. He tried to kind of bulldoze them with the Awani and Chris Wood partnership, but it never quite panned out that way. And he already switched it up right at halftime, bringing Elanga on. So, yeah, he tried something different without, in the absence of Gibbs White. Maybe just figuring, okay, we don't really have the creativity, so let's just get the ball wide and whip it into the big boys. But they just never really had the territorial advantage to get enough players up the pitch to even provide those opportunities. So Fulham in the end, I thought they controlled the game pretty well. And they probably did deserve the 3 points. A good away performance. Anytime you can keep a clean sheet away, that's always a good thing. So kudos to Fulham getting the results. 1-0. Raul Jimenez back in the score sheet in the EPL and doing it with a bit of consistency now. And he looks to have wrestled that starting place away from Rodrigo Muniz, who was sort of a revelation close to the end of last season. Hasn't quite been able to duplicate that this season just yet. So good to see that Fulham can play the hot player and he can keep producing for them. I think that's something that has always been an issue for Fulham. Mitrovic, a great goal scorer in the Championship, never quite duplicated it in the Premier League. And, Fulham usually play some decent football, but I feel like they just lack that goal scorer. And if they can do it by committee this season, Muniz showed in a short stretch last year he has the potential. Jimenez has been a decent goal scorer in the league before as well. So, if one of them can stay firing, then that should hold them in good stead for the season, because I do think that they have made some decent additions around the park to bolster their squad even more. So Fulham, a team to watch, maybe hopefully staying in that top 10 throughout the season. But let's see if they can keep the consistency needed to do so. Forest, after a really good start, finally suffer their loss, and yeah, it was a tough one losing at home. But I think not having Gibbs White, you can maybe understand a bit. I think out of all the players in the league, he's probably one of the most relied upon players for any team. So to play a match without him, it kind of shows how important he is, the lack of chances created, the lack of overall just attempts on goal. Badly missed Gibbs White. So they'll be happy that he only gets the 1 game ban, since it was 2 yellows and not the 3 games you get for the straight red. All right, so the next game, there was one more game at 10 o'clock on Saturday, and that would have been Wolves and Liverpool. Actually, no, this was the 12:30 game, so this was the late kickoff that day, or the evening kickoff in England. And this was Wolves Liverpool. Of course, this match ended 2-1 to Liverpool. Liverpool took the lead through Konate, and then Ait Nouri equalized, and soon thereafter Salah converted from the penalty spot to make it 2-1 to Liverpool, and this win took them to the top of the table. As you can see here in the statistics, Liverpool slightly edged the possession. They had the better expected goals. They had 3 big chances to just the 1 for Wolves. Took 2 more shots. Had about 100 more passes attempted as well. Shots on target, Liverpool 6 to Wolves 3. Big chances, scored 1. Liverpool did miss 2 big chances as well on the day, so it could have been even wider of a margin for them. Final third entries 48 to 36. So a lot of the game played in the midfield in this one. But Liverpool did have more entries than Wolves. So yeah, interesting game here. I thought, Liverpool, while it wasn't like, the best performance from Liverpool, I think for the most part they handled the other team well. I think Wolves on another day could have maybe got another goal, but I think Liverpool easily could have had 3-4 as well. So, probably good value for their victory. Just the same, Wolves still, having trouble finding these points in this Premier League, even though I think they're not playing terribly. But, they have had a pretty tough start. I believe they have played City, they have played Arsenal, they have played Liverpool. I think they might have even played Villa too. I'm not sure. But I know they played Liverpool, City, and Arsenal. So not the easiest of starts for them. But they are languishing down at the bottom of the table right now. Liverpool, on the other hand, all the way in first. And I think that when you look at Liverpool's team right now, while I think they're still working out a few things, I do think that you have to give Arne Slot a lot of credit for how quickly he's really gotten this team to look like a pretty decent team. I think Gravenberch has been a revelation so far this year, really solid in the midfield. I think Trent is actually enjoying the freedom, even though he was pretty free under Klopp. I think, he might even have more freedom under this manager due to the fact that I see him overlapping Salah sometimes. Sometimes I see him in midfield. Sometimes I see him all the way up in a number 10. Like, he's literally just going everywhere. But I think the key, honestly, the unsung hero this season is McAllister, because his relationship with Gravenberch is quite interesting, because Gravenberch doesn't really always just sit in front of the back line. Sometimes he's the one that's making a forward drive through, and McAllister is just so intelligent in when to sit, when to go, when to be beside him. I think he's really a key to like what Slot is doing right now. It's almost like he's looking and seeing where Trent, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, everybody else is going, and he makes sure to pick up the slack for wherever they aren't. And yeah, I don't think he's getting a lot of plaudits because he's not really getting assists or goals or anything. And I think Gravenberch is outshining him because Gravenberch maybe wins the ball back a bit more than McAllister. But I think McAllister, like, IQ level and what he's doing right now is really helping them. This game, I think Jota was dangerous. I think Diaz was a bit more quiet this game, which was rare for him lately. Gakpo, I think, has had decent form to start the season. I think something that's a bit of I wouldn't say it's a problem, but I think two of their more informed looking players are Diaz and Gakpo, and they play literally their best in the same position. So, he's going to have to give one less time than the other. And I think, deservedly so, it's been Diaz starting. But I can tell you, if Diaz has any long stretch where he's not producing, I believe that Gakpo will get a chance to start on that left side as well. So let's see how that one plays out. Nunes scored last week, back to the bench. Jota back in. So let's see how Slot kind of plays his cards moving forward. It does have a lot of depth in those forward areas. Chiesa didn't get a chance to play in this one. He's around as well. You have Salah, Soboslai playing behind the striker pretty much every time. Is that something that is going to be set in stone? Could he put Jota behind Nunes at times? You never know. So we'll see what the future holds for Liverpool. But right now, I think they're looking very good. Some can say maybe they haven't been tested like some other teams. So let's see as their schedule gets a little tougher, how well they cope with that. Just some different challenges for them moving forward. But so far, they've only not crossed one hurdle, that Nottingham Forest loss that they got. They have 5 wins otherwise. So a very good start to life for Arne Slot. 5 wins from 6. I'm sure if you gave him that before the season, he'd probably take it. So those were all the games on Saturday, right? Let me check in with the comment section. I always said Ramsdale was shit, pure mistakes. Who is the best keeper? The previous one or the one Arsenal got? No. The one we got? No, for sure. Fulham have a squad, man. Yeah, they have a lot of attacking players, a lot of options. They have some decent midfielders as well. They have a decent squad for a team of their size. They have done a decent job recruiting-wise. Fulham are good coach and a lot of good players. First, I put a good team together too. Was a great signing. I agree. I think Murillo needed a better partner, and they got him one. Yeah, he's for years, and he's good for the national team as well. Sander Berge, Reese, Lukic. Yeah, they got a lot of people. Yeah, man. Without him, they're not the same. Top 4 race gonna be interesting. United ain't making it, but there's about 6 or so that have a chance. True. Yeah, I would say about 7-8 to be honest. McAllister is decent but vulnerable when he's left alone because you break on him quickly. He's vulnerable. That's true. Yeah, can't really be left on an island. But him kind of smart. Him most of the time him not on an island. Him kind of have some cover somewhere, whether left or right. Him try funnel you that way there or something. I pre him, man. Him very intelligent, man. Him do the same thing with Argentina, because you know Argentina style, you know. When them attack the field just wide open, you know, man. All right. Sunday, there were 2 games. The first game was Ipswich and Aston Villa. So, earlier in the season, would have said, boy, the Jamaicans at it. But, ever since what day, the man, them changed Hutchinson flag. Can't believe, star. Joke thing. So, in this one, though, Ipswich got a valuable point. Liam Delap, the former City Academy player, with the brace. 2 very good goals, actually. Second one especially, really one that Diego Carlos would want to forget. Aston Villa got 2 goals in the first half. Morgan Rogers in the 15th who had to get off the pitch early. Looked like he was having some issues with a muscle. Hopefully that's nothing bad for Aston Villa. And then Ollie Watkins in the 32nd minute after a brilliant right foot cross from Leon Bailey from the right side. Provided on a platter for him, and he made no mistake with the header to make it 2-1 at halftime. And then Delap getting that goal in the 72nd minute. And to be totally honest, surprisingly, after they got that equalizing goal, I would say that Ipswich looked the more likely to get the winner after that, which was very, very surprising to me. But yeah, this time, John Duran, for all his goals, still has to settle for a spot on the bench. He did eventually forward on for Rogers in that 60 minute, 64 minutes. Bailey was pulled as well at 64 minutes. I think It was a necessity as well. It never really, still doesn't look 100% sharp since his injury, but was effective on the day. 64 minutes played. He had the assist, as I said, 39 touches, very high accuracy on the passing, 25 for 30. He had one key pass. His one cross with that right foot was successful. 1 of 2 on his long passes. The big chance was the cross he created. He was 0 for 1 on his dribbles. So to me, that's a telltale sign right there. A lot of times he got the ball faced up with his defender and just was reluctant to really go at him. Not really typical what you would see from Bailey in those positions. 1 of 6 on ground duels, 1 of 1 in the air. He had 39 touches, lost the ball 11 times, so decent retention for Bailey. Typically, he has a lot more lost possession than that, but I think, again, playing within himself a bit more, not wanting to exert himself too much, really just waiting for that decisive moment to really go at somebody or supply that final ball. But definitely playing within himself right now, and, even though he's playing, I wonder if putting his body through the rigors of the whole window travel, playing the game. I wonder if that's something that's really even on the cards for him right now. But let's see. There's one game left. Maybe this game will see him complete a full 90 minutes. Of course, Aston Villa do have Champions League action this week. So, we'll see how Emery plays that one in terms of, does he play him in the Champions League or not? Based on injuries right now, I don't see a scenario where if Bailey is fit, he doesn't play, because I don't really see the depth in those areas right now. Yeah, and they have a big one, people. They play Bayern on Wednesday. They host Bayern at Villa Park. So, yeah, that's one I'm sure that Bailey will be itching to go for. He's one of the few that have Champions League experience in this team. Him and Pau Torres, I believe, like the only ones that have played Champions League before. So, yeah, his experience will be needed. And of course, he spent a lot of time in the Bundesliga, has some relative success against that team as well. So, a lot of reasons why Bailey would want to be used in this one. But let's see how the workload and the management of the minutes goes, because I know that Emery will be mindful that the window is forwarding up. The last time he was due to go, got injured, didn't go. I'm sure McLaren would have him in his plans again if he's fit. So let's see how we manage these minutes. They have 2 more games before the window closes. They have Bayern Wednesday, and they have their fixture in the Premier League next week. So interesting to see how this one plays out as far as Bailey and his minutes leading into the Jamaica window. But just more on this game again. I feel like when you look at the statistics in this one, of course, Villa had a bit better of the possession, but the expected goals, Ipswich had the edge there. They had 2 more big chances created than Villa. Again, Ipswich, while I'm sure they're happy for the point, they'll look back at this and say, boy, we really had them on the ropes and could have gotten this game. They did miss 3 of their big chances. When you're a promoted team playing against a top 4 team at home and you create so many chances, you definitely have to make use of them. And I think, this is one of those games they'll look back if they do get relegated and they say, boy, on the day we were happy for the point, but looking back at how we played and the stats and everything, we really should have gotten those 3 points from Aston Villa on this day. Because I don't think Villa played their best at all. Never really got free flowing and going for me. First half was a lot better for them than the second, but once Ipswich got going and got that belief in that second half, especially after that equalizer, I thought they looked the more likely to get the job done. So in the end, valuable point for Ipswich, and Villa will look at this prior to the game and say, yes, these are 2 points dropped. But I think Emery, if he's being honest with himself, will say, listen, let me take this point and run, because this could have been worse for us on this day. We never really showed up with our A game, and it definitely told. So 2-2 went to let you know about Leon Bailey. Of course, his flag on the sites might say England, but Omari Hutchinson is still eligible to play for Jamaica, and just want to big him up because he did get his first assist in the Premier League this season. So this was Omari Hutchinson's game. He played the entire game, had the 1 assist. played the pass to the lock for the second goal. 52 touches. He was 87% on his passing. One key pass, one big chance created. He had one shot off target. He was 4 for 6 on his dribbles, so very effective dribbling. 6 for 13 ground duels, 0 for 1 aerials. He touched the ball 52 times, lost it 14, so decent ball retention for attacking player there. 2, he was fouled twice, 1 clearance, and he was dribble pass once. So Omari Hutchinson, first goal contribution. Big up to Omari. And a big point for Aston Villa, holding one of the Champions League teams from this season to a 2-2 draw. And then the last game on Sunday, probably the biggest game of the weekend in terms of history, at least. Manchester United and Tottenham. This game was not really much of a contest. It was 3-0 to Tottenham on the day. I would say this is probably the game with the two teams that I probably hate the most in the Premier League out of all the teams. So I was wondering, is there a way they both can lose? Well, that's not possible. So one had to lose. So United was the ones on the day. And since it was so embarrassing of a loss, I would say I'm okay with it. The only bad thing is Tottenham, can gloat about something, which they really shouldn't gloat about anything. But I'm sure they must have been extremely pleased with this result. 3-0 to them. Brennan Johnson, Kulusevski, and Solanke. 1 in the first half, 2 in the second. But look at this. Domination. 61% to 39. Almost 5 goals expected. That's ridiculous. So that's just poor defending on Man U's part. 9 big chances. So I think Arsenal created 8 big chances against Leicester at home. Well, Spurs created 9 big chances against United away. Ridiculous. 24 shots to 11. Onana was busy with his 7 saves to only 2. They outpassed them by about 300 or 200 odd. They barely had to even tackle them because Man U didn't have the ball. This is ridiculous, man. 24 to 11, 10 to 2 on target in favor of Spurs. Just really one-sided here. 3 big chances scored, 6 big chances missed. None scored, none missed. No big chances created by Man U all game. Touches in the penalty area, big discrepancy there, 45 to 25. Then you have the entries. Somehow Man U had 6 more entries than Spurs, but clearly they did nothing with them, not even a big chance created out of all of that. So just a really poor showing from United. And the main talking point really is is Ten Hag's job really in danger at this point? I mean, this is a really bad loss. Of course, they were down to 10 men in that second half, so we have to be honest. But I would say that in that stretch when they had 10 men was arguably their best play. That stretch of time when, before that third goal came, I thought Man U had their best stretches then. So, I can't even put this loss really on Bruno's red card, which happened, right at the death in the first half, basically, with a couple of minutes left. It was, and first and foremost, people, do you guys agree with the red card? Because that red card really split a lot of opinion in the groups that I'm in talking about football and stuff. So what do you guys think about the red card? Was it a red card for you by Bruno? Ipswich were really good. They have a good coach, organizing with youth and pace in their attack. Agreed. Bailey played shit, but produced a big moment. Bailey played safe and some would say smarter, but he also doesn't have much space. Yeah, he just played within himself, He just played within himself. Close space down quickly, the other side didn't offer much, so Bailey gets all the attention. Yeah, well, if Digne push up too far, them susceptible, So, I mean, Ramsey just cuts inside at every opportunity. He never goes down the flank. So if Digne can't get up the pitch, then they really have no width on the other side. Omari looked good overall. That's true. Very tidy. Boy on the other side was better than Hutchinson, in my opinion. The one they got from Sunderland. Oh yeah, Jack Clark. Yeah, he was decent. I think Clark just tired before Omari still, because he was out on his feet. But it is a little bit more strenuous sometimes when you're playing the wide role than the 10, because it can almost hide a little bit in the 10 sometimes, whereas those wide roles you have to get up and back a bit more. For me, they were looking at to lose 7 or 8. I tell you, could have been way more. Ten Hag is a fraud. Looks like when his hair dropped out, some brain cells dropped out with rubbish coach. Yeah, they were getting played off the pitch. Absolutely. Okay, so you agree with the with the yellow, with the red. Yeah, look, the way him fall, I mean, yeah, sometimes the ref will have leniency because him slip. But I think like it was so obvious the lunge, not the lunge, but the showing the studs so high up, like he knew what he was doing there, man. It was a frustration. We're playing like crap. I don't think we're going to ever touch this football today. And he was just frustrated, and he got caught. So yeah, I agree with it as well. I mean, some people were saying because the contact wasn't so clear, they shouldn't have given it perhaps, but I disagree with that, people. I disagree with that. I think, I agree with the red card. I think it was I think we have seen where referees now give fouls and cards for intent. So when you look at the intent, clearly there was none. He couldn't have played the ball. The ball is gone. He could have shown his studs and hit him on the foot, but the height where he hit him on his leg, that's where it lends itself to dangerous play. And yeah, I'm okay with the red card. I'm okay with it. It's like because the man foot never broke, him not forget the red. No, it was a leg breaking type of challenge if him did connect the right way. So I'm totally fine with the red. It was reckless. It was reckless. I agree when it was reckless, I would have given a red as well, for sure. But yeah, is this what I want to know as well, people, and those who watch back this show, it's too late for you. Was this result an anomaly, or is this kind of what we might see from United against some of the better teams this season? I don't know. Yeah, frustrated. He was terrible himself, so should have focused frustration on improving and making a pass to his teammate for the first time. They were better when he went off. Yeah, he was poor. He was culpable for a lot of the missed passes and the losing of possession as well. Yeah, just was never really at the races like most of his team. And I mean, it just goes to show that play for Tottenham's first goal is like a microcosm of Man U right now. Like Rashford is making a run, overruns the ball, kind of pulls out of the challenge super early. Not even a thought for him to just stop and chase down the man who took the ball from him. He just kind of stops. And then Van de Ven just doesn't really ever make a move on anyone, just kind of changes direction a few times and runs straight. And nobody thinks to stop him. They just let him run. Finally, De Ligt has to try to close him down late. It's too late. Everybody on the far side is watching. Johnson runs in for a tap-in. Dalot, as soon as it happens, puts his hands up, apologizing. But the match just start. I mean, how are you not switched on when the match just start? Literally 2 minutes into the game. So there's a deeper issue going on at United for sure. And the manager just doesn't inspire the type of confidence that makes me think that he's gonna be able to get them out of it. So it's a tough one, people. It's a tough one. But if I'm a Man U fan right now, I don't see how this manager turned this stuff around, man. It just not looking good. Wouldn't say no way it was an anomaly. Bournemouth did the same thing to them last season. That could have been 7 or 8 too. Yeah, how can Van de Ven run like that in a straight line? Yeah, it's crazy. I may give Van de Ven credit for changing direction, because honestly, if you look at where him win the ball to where him cross it, you could have literally draw a straight line. Now it might have veered a little bit this way or this way going down, but by the time he reached the other side, it was right in line with where him win the ball. Ridiculousness. They are shite. I agree. They are shite. A lot of times people say me just bad mind United, but then I can't say a bad mind this time, people. They are shite. I just say it go. All right, so Spurs, I didn't spend much time on you, but very good performance for you guys this week. I'm not going to go overboard with the performance, though. You know, we are now realizing that Man U is very inconsistent, and this is the type of performance they can give you on a random day. So let's see Spurs play another decent team again and see how they look. Yeah. No sun either. So that's kind of telling that there was no sun and they were still able to create so much against this United team. So not looking good for United people. That is all I can say. All right, the last game was today, Bournemouth and Southampton, and it was another suicide performance from Southampton. You know, the manager just insistent on them playing Pep Guardiola Barcelona style. I wouldn't even say City style, no. Barcelona Pep Guardiola style. Kepa Arrizabalaga, the most confident keeper in the world, was trying to sabotage them early, but he settled down. But I'm telling you, look at these names on Southampton, people. Just look at the names. Ramsdale, Sugawara, who actually is not bad. I actually like him. Taylor Harwood Bellis, City product, now permanently with Southampton. Jan Badnerek, you have seen him over the years. Charlie Taylor, long-time Burnley player. Ugochukwu came from Chelsea on loan. Flynn Downs, good young player, but, you know, not the most experienced in the league. Cornet, we've seen him at Burnley as well on loan. Now on loan at Southampton. Mateus Fernandes just came in. Ryan Fraser, veteran, dribbling, playing the starting role. But, you know, what names jump out at you? Does this team and those 11 names scream possession, tiki-taka? No. So why is the man trying to play that? I couldn't tell you, people, but the man is insistent on playing out from the back. It's ridiculous. They don't even look like they have passes free for, like, they don't even have one free pass, and the man still passing shot. I don't know, brother. I don't know. It's bordering on comedy at points today, how they were trying to pass out. And then, funny enough, in that second half, they get a goal in the 51st minute from a set piece, and they actually have a half decent second half. You know, the mistakes get less and less. They took dribbling away from that number 9 role, which he was struggling in, I thought, in the first half. They brought on Ross Stewart at halftime, a true number 9. He helped with the hold-up play. Burton did a lot more than Cornet did in the first half for me as well. Just more decent runs, at least getting in some decent positions. I thought Joe Aribo, while his rating doesn't say so, I thought he, you know, was forceful in that midfield. Made a difference in that midfield, just beefing up that area for them. So, yeah, the moves that I thought he made at halftime made it a little bit better. But in the end, they just couldn't find that second goal and really make Bournemouth panic. I think Bournemouth, for them, they just couldn't sustain how well they were playing in the first half. I thought it was a really good first half from them. I thought the whole front four was involved. I thought the midfielders were doing their jobs as well. But yeah, for Southampton, it's going to be a long season. A long season. Ramsdale, he's going to be taking a lot of balls out of his goal. And yeah, I think Russell Martin is going to have to, you know, borrow a bit of pragmatism from Arteta and some of those other coaches, because it's just not really going to work out. And, you know, I don't know if Southampton will have the patience that Burnley had last season, because a lot of times during the last season, people were saying, boy, they should just get rid of Company and everything. They never did. They stuck with him. In the end, they didn't stay up, and he left and went to manage Bayern. So, you know, I don't know if Russell Martin's plan is to get relegated and then go to like Bayer Leverkusen next year or something. But, you know, I want him to know that what happened with Company is definitely an anomaly. All right. And it don't really work out that way most of the time. So if that's your plan, Russell, formulate a new one. See? I think it'll work that way there. But Bournemouth, did well, got the 3 points. They have been dropping points lately, but they were able to pull it off today, get the 3-1 victory. In the end, it was pretty comfortable. There was that little stretch in the second half where it looked like they might find a second and make it interesting, but in the end, they weren't able to do so, and Bournemouth were deserved 3-1 winners. They had a really good stretch of play in that first half. Goals from Evan Nielsen breaking his duck with Bournemouth. Otara had the deflected goal, and then Semenyo with a beautiful goal sent 3 defenders to the shop, put it on his right foot and blasted it low to the far post. Brilliant goal. And I have him in every single fantasy league. So big up yourself, Semenyo, for doing the job for me. I was going to get rid of you, I'm saying, no, don't get rid of a player before Southampton, And my instinct was on point because he got the job done. So before I pull up the standings of the picks of the JGTV, let me just look at the Premier League table quick and fast, and then I will show you guys how we fared this week, and then we'll close off with a little FPL roundup. What the hell? Am I trying to give me something? I don't know what I'm trying to give me. All right, so this is the league table, people. Let me get myself out of here. So this is the league table. So we have Liverpool in first, 15 points. Man City second, 14 points. I think it's 8 goal difference, 7 goal difference for Arsenal, 14 as well. So just City and Arsenal now unbeaten in the league. But Liverpool, by virtue of the 5 wins, have the 1 point advantage. Then Chelsea rounding out the top 4 currently, 13 points, better goal difference than Aston Villa, also on 13 points. Then we have Fulham in 6th and 11, Newcastle in 7th and 11, goal difference separating those two. Then we have Tottenham in 8th on 10 points, Brighton and Forest both on 9, but Brighton has the tiebreaker with the goal difference right now. Bournemouth in 11th with 8 points, Brentford and West Ham 7 points apiece, 12th and 13th. Then we have in 14th West Ham with 5 points. Then out of the relegation zone, both Ipswich and Everton now on 4 points. Leicester is in 17th now with 3 points, minus 4 goal difference, and Palace into the relegation zone on less goals scored than Leicester, both on minus 4. Then we have 19th Southampton and 20th Wolves, both on a point, but Wolves minus 10 and Southampton minus 9. So that is the Premier League standings after week 6. Interesting, they haven't put up the week 6 team of the week yet, so we'll look at that next week and see what that's saying. But yeah, that is this table for the English Premier League, people. Any big surprises on the table for you guys so far? I would say for me, didn't think Chelsea would click so fast to be so high up the table on 13, so it's a bit of a surprise for me. I do think Chelsea would be battling for top 4 all season, but I thought it would be a slower arrival to that area. Another surprise for me so far this season, I really thought Crystal Palace would kick on more. To see them down with only 3 points after 6 is a little surprising for me. And then obviously my other surprise would be, the struggles of Man U for sure. While I didn't think that they would, blaze up the league this year, I didn't think that they would be kind of in crisis mode after 6 games, 7 points after 6 games. I didn't see that coming for them. So I would say those are my big surprises so far. I thought Liverpool were going to be good, so I'm not so surprised they're at the top. Again, I think they have had the more favorable fixtures of all the teams up there. So let's see how they fare as they get into some tougher fixtures as well. So I think a lot to play for. I think if you're a Premier League fan, some that always maybe don't look at the Premier League as the greatest league. They just think they have the most views and the most fans watching every week, not necessarily because of the football. Their argument has been, is it becoming a farmers league because City win every year? So I think this year we will kind of see a few more teams in with a shout, at least for a much longer stretch of the season. Now, I do think the top 2, 3 or so will pull away eventually, but I think it's going to be pretty tight at the top for a long period of time this season until, we start to see some true separation. So, very, very interesting season so far. 6 game weeks in has been some good football, great matches, a lot of storylines. So looking forward to seeing the rest of this season, and definitely next week, the final week before the international window. Of course, we have to shift focus to the European leagues coming up tomorrow. Of course, my side playing PSG. Busy day for me, so I won't be able to do a live stream or anything, but we'll be making content this week throughout the week. So of course, we will have some kind of recap of that game and others as we move forward into the week. But let's not go any further. Next, we want to just bring out the standings for last week's picks. So let me get that on the screen for you guys. Let's see. So this right here is the standings, people, for last week. So we have big up to my brethren Chaddy, my college teammate in football, winning this week with a 7-3 record with 1 correct score. So Chaddy C, I believe it's the first time Chad actually participate this season in the picks, and he won. So I'm sure he'll be back next week now that he is the champion. So 7-3 to Chaddy. So congrats to you, Chad, taking home the trophy this week. So and I will be keeping track of how many times people win it. So this is his first for the season. Then we have Mass Sports World and Nitro tied for second. They both had 6-4 records, and they both had 2 games correct out of the 10. So they split that second place this week. Then we have Biggs G, Duke, and Nick, my cousin, with the incredible last name. 6-4, all 3 of those, and 1 correct score. And then J Ross just behind them with 6-4 as well, with 0 correct scores. And then myself and Fana Minot, average this week, 5-5. I got the tiebreak over Fana with the 1 correct score. Fana didn't have any. And sad to say, people, we have another part of the standings to show you. It is this week's donkeys, and they would go to Hot Chili and Brando, only ones that played this week with a losing record, 4-6. There was no way to differentiate the two. The only reason I put Hot Chili higher up is because one of his incorrect games was Arsenal to draw. Yeah, Arsenal to draw the game. And I just thought that was really and truly disrespectful. So Hot Chili, you get to go above Brando, but both of you got donkey of the picks this week. All right, big up on yourself, same way. No hard feelings. You just got donkey this week, and I saw it go. All right, people. So that was the standings, and congrats again to Chaddy. Big win, 7-3. Very good week. All right. So next, the last thing I want to touch on this week before we close off the show, we have about 5 more minutes or so. I just want to show you guys how I fared this week in fantasy. I play a couple of leagues. I'm in one fantasy, the traditional fantasy way where you have the $100 million budget and you pick your team. So this week, I had fallen down the table. I had been hovering around 3rd, 2nd, 4th. I'd gotten down to 5th. And then I think going into this week, I was in 7th. And I had a lot of issues with my lineup, who was on there. I had players injured, everything. So I chose to go ahead and use my wild card this week. Now, the wild card is literally when you get a refresh. You get to start over. It's like you redraft your team. You still have your $100 million to spend, and you spend it however you want. Brand new, fresh. And obviously, you tailor it to who you see playing this week. So I had to be mindful that I want this team to... This is going to be my team after this. So I couldn't just base it off of just this week. I had to try to just get players that I would hold on to for a few more weeks after as well. So this is what I went with this week, people. Raya in goal, Gabriel, Vardiel, and Vandenberg. Vandenberg actually was on my bench. I started Bogart thinking he might play against Ipswich. Aston Villa, Ipswich, maybe I get some points. Luckily, he didn't play and he didn't start. So I didn't get anything from him. So they subbed on Vandenberg for me, who played the whole game for Brentford, 2 points there. no extra bonus, but that's fine. So the defense didn't really give me much, but thankfully Vardiol got the goal, got 9 points, so that was big to give me some points from that back line. Everybody else kind of really, random performance. Then in midfield, this is what I went with. So I didn't have Palmer before. I made sure to get him after my wild card. I got Saka as well, who I was hoping would have a big showing against Leicester. Didn't really materialize. And I really didn't have much money left after spending all of it on Haaland and Jackson. So I had to get bargain players in midfield. And I think I found 3 relatively good bargains. I think Rogers is about 5-something million. Semenyo the same. Smith Rowe the same. All 3 of those have been threats all season to score goals and assists. And of course, I got goals from Rogers and Semenyo and 4 from Palmer. So midfield definitely did their work for me this week. Smith Rowe and Saka got 3 points. Smith Rowe, I think, got an extra point for a clean sheet. And Saka got 1 point bonus for just his overall performance. Got 3rd place in the player of the match vote, or the standings for the bonus points. And then, of course, Haaland, who I captained them in this game, you get double points. Imagine if I had captained Palmer, but everybody's a genius when you look in the rear view. So didn't really know Palmer was going to score 4 goals, and I figured Haaland would score at least 1. Of course, that didn't happen. So I only got 4 from Haaland as my captain, not the best. And Jackson was only able to give me an assist out of those 4 goals by Palmer. So not bad, not the best. 67 on a wild card week. Maybe you would want to be up in the 70s, 80s, especially when you use a wild card. But what I will say is a lot of these, like I said, was ones that I can be happy with going forward. I had João Pedro in it as well. At the time, it said he was going to play the game before the window, even though he was going to miss the next one. So I went ahead and got him good money, good value for him. Not looking to be the best pick now, because now his status has changed to unlikely when he'll play. So I'll probably have to make a sub there. But decent week for me in terms of the table. Last week I was 7th. Now I'm up to 5th. This is the I Am Sure Sports League. Big up yourself, I Am Sure Sports, Manning's Man and the crew. Right now, as I said, I'm in 5th place in this one, but not far off of first, about 30 odd points, which in fantasy is not that crazy to make up. Yeah, so going on nicely there. I think this wildcard team is a little bit better balanced than what I had before. So I think I have the potential to at least have good average weeks if everybody don't show up. And then I'll have the potential for some really big weeks with this lineup as well, especially if I can play the right captain at the right time. So good showing there for me in this one. And let me show you guys now the other thing that I take part in, which is the draft leagues. Now, the cool thing about the fantasy draft league to me is it's not like the other one where everybody can have the same team. Literally, each player belongs to one owner. So in one of the leagues I'm in, Pickpocket FC, that is the name. Obviously that is, due to Arteta's antics pre-season when he had the pickpockets come. I had to play on that for my name. So that's my name of my team, Pickpocket FC. Right now I'm in the lead in first place in this one. This was the team and who I had this week playing. So Becca, Konate, Gabriel, Digne played and didn't give me nothing. Trossard I almost got rid of, but I said, you know what? Odegaard's still out. We have Leicester next. We have Southampton after that. Maybe not the best time to get rid of him. Glad I kept him. Goal and assist. Man of the match bonus. So did this thing for me there. Eze. I'm hanging on to Eze. Hoping, praying. I got rid of him in the other fantasy league. Kept him in this one. Still nothing. I don't know if I'll persist, but we shall see. Barnes finally cooled off, was scoring points left, right, and center, but didn't score this week. Semenyo finally got what he deserved, I think, from his performances so far. Salah back on the score sheet as well. Havertz getting the garbage time, which gave me a little bit more points, and Welbeck not getting on the score sheet this time. Had Cunha, Munoz, and Van Heck on the bench. Then I have a second squad in the draft, and this one I was in 3rd last week, but now everything is right in the world. I'm back up to 1st, and this is my team in this one. Raya in goal, Digne as well in this one, Konate as well. So you see some overlap of some of the players. Mitchell in this one, I have Munoz in the other one. So I like the idea of having a wing back from Palace. I think that they kind of get into the attack more than most of the defenders would. Not really giving me a much clean sheet chance, but I think the assist or goal, somewhat of a goal threat, is still there. Salah I have in both leagues, so I had the first pick. I had like the second pick in one and maybe the third or fourth pick in the other one, and Salah was there both times, so I took him. Semenyo I have in both leagues as well, Barnes in both leagues. Brennan Johnson was a pickup this week that I had him earlier in the season, dropped him, and then just decided, you know what? Let me just get Brennan Johnson back, because I do feel like Spurs have a very good attack, even though I don't like them. I would never get their defensive players because I don't trust them defensively, even though they kept a clean sheet this week. But I do trust them to create chances. So Brennan Johnson, not really my favorite player in the world, but tends to get goals or assists. I mean, you can't go around it. Trossard I have in both leagues, Havertz I have in both leagues, and this league I have Solanke and Cunha. Benched Cunha against Liverpool, but started Solanke against United, and he did get me a goal. So I had a good week this week here, 63 points, and in first in 2 draft leagues and in 5th in the fantasy league. So not a bad showing this week by Jason Guna's teams in the fantasy world. And yeah, if you guys need some pointers, just let me know. Because yeah, I'm not do 3 bad. I'm not do 3 bad. But it says Son would have buried them chance they are true still. They don't have a place for that style. They have enough to survive with some common sense from the coach, but looks like he has none. Facts. Bless up yourself, Jay the DJ. Bless up, Jay. Semenyo looks dangerous when he's the final third today. Absolutely. He's looked like that all season, to be honest. The surprise is Aston Villa drop points. Yeah, that was a surprise. I think it's one of the reasons why when you look at them finishing top 4 last year, there also was a gap though between even third to them. They had those just slip-ups during the season last year, and they're still prone to that. Respect one for the strength, my brother. Respect for the £5 boss. Big up yourself every time. Playing some good football in my opinion last season, just wasn't scoring the chances. That's true. I mean, Jackson I think missed 24 big chance. So far score 24. That's amazing. Brando. Oh yeah, man. You see where yours they know. Brando, nobody asks for it. If you don't see it on the page there, you don't want to see it, boss. You don't want to see it. Rodgers is a quality player. We should take him off them. I wouldn't mind, I wouldn't mind. Because Rodgers look like he can play deeper in the midfield too, He can play anywhere from 8 to 10. I mean, maybe not the 6, but yeah. Like if Rodgers did a play, like certain games, Rodgers could have played a role where them a play Rice. Just fine. Because he's a big guy too. He cover the ground well. Yeah, man, Rodgers is a good player, man. Let's go and watch him and see him consistency. Yeah, man, this week was a good week. One double thing. Yeah, man, Brando, if you don't see your name on the first one there with your trophy on it, you're going to end up on the donkey one. So, yeah. Believe me. Yeah, man, him can play left, right. Him can play the other guard role, the Rice role. No feel no way, Him could have played like whatever it's a play to be honest. Starting Rodgers over Duran. Yes, I am. Because I don't, like, to me, unless him going to change the system to 2 striker, I think playing Ali or Duran behind a striker limit one of them now go play as good as they can. So for the balance of the team, just play one of them if you're not going to play 2 striker in a them actual striker role. Which is funny, because last year, remember, Emery used to try force Diaby for play supporting striker in the system them, or even Bailey sometime. But now him have the 2 striker them where strike, and him now want to play the system again. So I don't know. Brother. It's a strange one. We'll see who start against Bayern. If him still start Watkins or him start Duran. Or if him actually try start the 2 of them one time. Because I say, Rodgers looked like him was 100 when him forward off. So I don't know if him have a little niggle carrying now. And if we do some research and see. But that game is Wednesday, so them get an extra day for try recover from Sunday still. But tomorrow is Arsenal big match against PSG. Me say Enrique throw the book at Dembele. Dembele must do some foolishness, mistraining or something, and apparently he's out of the squad for tomorrow. So that's a good sign because Dembele on fire this season, brother. Man, I move away since Mbappe leave, and to be fair to him, it really started last year in the Champions League run that they had. The man was playing out of his mind in some of those games, you know, and he actually had a decent Euro as well. So I feel like he actually probably should have played more in the Euro based on his form, but as I said earlier, hindsight is 2020, right? But anyway, people, I've gone through everything I wanted to go to on tonight's show. I've thoroughly enjoyed going through all the games with you, the banter, the discussion in the comment section. Big up to all those who took part tonight. Woon, Brando, Rob Smith was in the building earlier. Mass Sports World, big up yourself. To the winner again, Chaddy C. Never see you tonight, but big up yourself, bro. I know say you're probably asleep them time here with the fam. Hot Chili, big up yourself. Yeah, me expect better from you next week, Hot Chili and Brando. On a better than that. Yeah, man. Who else may I left out? Float Management, big up yourself. Name say the day earlier, Duke the day earlier, gone in bed now. DJ Geeks, big up yourself. Jay the DJ, Omar Fowling. Yeah, man, big up to everyone in the building from night. Big up all the silent watcher them as well. Big up all the people and we just come drop a like and go on to bed. We still appreciate it. And anybody watching on the replay, you don't know, let your voice be heard in the comment section. If you have any comments, anything here, me say where you know agree with, shout out any reason. Just drop it in the comment section and we'll keep the conversation going there. As I said, people, look out for some more content this week. We definitely have to look at the players going into this window. Squad will be announced Friday, so we'll have the content Friday discussing that. Also, we have the Premier League again. Also, we have some Champions League this week, and we have to talk about all things Jamaican on a program as well. So we have some shows lined up for the week. Just look out for the thumbnails, turn on your bell notifications, and I will do my best to share it to all those that I have contacts for. All right, people, big up on yourself, and thanks again for tuning in. It's your boy Jason Guna TV. I'm gonna go get some sleep, people. Big up on yourself. Morris. Arsenal. Oh, before I go, people, when I want a prediction for the Arsenal PSG game, Arsenal will get them first 3 points of this Champions League season. I'm gonna say we haven't been keeping the clean sheets at home. So I'm gonna say PSG get a goal tomorrow, but we get 3. So 3-1 to the Arsenal. We continue to create chances tomorrow, and we put away a few. 3-1 Gunners onto the winning ways in the Champions League. Big up on yourself. We're out of here.